Hi, I'm Mike Miller for the Hitfilm University channel. Wait, that's not right.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Jay Haynes from the Film Sensei YouTube channel, and today we're going to discuss how to make this quantum leap effect in Hitfilm Express. Hi, I'm Mike Miller from the Hitfilm University channel, and it's been over 3 years since I made a tutorial for you guys! I won't make you wait another 3 years for the next. So this all came about because a couple of months ago, Chris George from the Solo Samurai and What Chef channels suggested doing a collaborative short film with the Hitfilm community. He and Jay Haynes, the film sensei, are organizing that, and that has kind of become a Quantum Leap parody, so I decided that I would design the Quantum Leap effect. So this tutorial is going to be in 3 parts. First, we're going to take a quick look at how the Quantum Leap effect was put together on the actual show. Then we will show you how to set up the template that you should go download right now. There might be a card here if I bother to do that. Otherwise, it's in the description. But you're going to want to download that template to follow along. I'll wait. Welcome back. So we'll show you how to use that template once that's set up, and then we'll talk a little bit about how I actually created the effect if you want to build this from scratch yourself. But the really cool thing about this is it can be done in Hitfilm Express with no add-ons. So let's get started. Okay, here we are in Hitfilm Express, and before we discuss how to use the template, let's take a look at how the effect actually looked in the show. There are 5 basic elements to the Quantum Leap effect, and I call them the blue glow, the white glow, the radial vortex lines, the circular vortex lines, and the lightning. And there's a lot of variation in how the effect is portrayed in the show. It's not actually very consistent. Right, we can see that there's the blue glow and the lightning, and then it flares, and here come the radial vortex lines. And then there's the white glow growing up Sam. And then the screen's going to white out. And then we come out of the whiteout into the leap in. Again, radial lines, the white glow goes away, the blue glow goes away, and the next streak of lightning. So sometimes the blue glow is just a blue glow. And sometimes it's a little bit more of a cross-processed look, or false color, or a solarized. Oh, here's a good one that shows the circular vortex lines. Blue glow, radial, circular lines, cross-processed. And what you'll also see is sometimes the radial lines are composited behind Sam, and sometimes they're in front. Compton in front of Sam, and then behind, behind, in front, behind Sam, but in front of the lady. This would have been optical compositing, so it looks like they were using a high contrast negative to generate a matte that determined where the radial lines appeared. And then you'll also see, right, sometimes Sam is moving, sometimes Sam is still, moving, still. So as you can see, there's a lot of variation in how the effect was actually done in the show. Let's move to building our template. Okay, let's go ahead and open the template up. This template has been set up for 1080p resolution. It's been set up for 23.976 frames per second. And after we go over how to use the template, we'll go over how I built it so that you can recreate this effect for yourself if you want to do for 4K or 60 frames per second or something else. When you open the template, this should be saved to group by folder and arranged by type. And you'll see here 01 background plate, 02 actor roto key, 03, 04. And these are all the comp shots as they're set up. And then all the comp shots are across the bottom. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. And this is really the order in which you should approach setting your template up. Another folder you'll see here is where it says Media and Elements. There are 2 planes that are used, the sound effect, and then these vortex elements. And what you should do with your vortex elements to speed this up is pre-render all of the center streaks and all of the horizontal circles. You're not going to do anything with these vortex pre-animation comps. We'll talk about that when we talk about how I built this. All of the vortex elements have been built at 2500 by 1500, so you have a little bit of extra room to reframe them in the shot. And we'll talk about that when we get to step 3, the leap out comp. In the meantime, we're in A1 leap out background. It says place your background plate here, so we'll need to bring in some media to do the effect. Our leap out is going to be J, so for our leap out background plate, I'm just going to bring in this thing that says Sensei leap out plate. And this would be if I were shooting video where I wasn't green screened and I was going to have to manually roto. And I can just delete that text for now. And that's all I need. This is just my background clip. A02, key roto my leap out actor here. So I'm going to bring in the same leap out plate. And this is where I want to roto J, so that I can isolate him from the background. And as we saw when we were looking at the actual effect from the show, the blue glow often extended around Sam a lot, so I don't really have to make this particularly precise. And that's it, that's all I need to. And then I can go into A03, my Vortex Leap Out comp. Okay, and the Vortex Leap Out comp is where most of the magic is going to happen. What you're really going to have to do is you're going to have to manually mask the blue glow and the white glow, and you're going to have to manually animate the lightning. Otherwise, this is set up for you. So let's start from the bottom and look up. Leap out background plate is composite, then you'll see horizontal circles, and center streaks all appearing here. And then my actor out normal composite, my actor out blue glow, and my actor out white glow. And you can see these are all timed out for you. And then lightning plane for the lightning element, timed out where it needs to be. And then center streaks on top, because I decided to put one of the center streaks on top. And then this track 4, this vortex center point, this is the important one. If we go forward to see where the lines are, if I just grab the vortex center point and put that where I want it to go, so maybe I want the vortex to leap out of Jay's eyes, or maybe I want it to come out of his chest. We'll do it a little bit farther down by his chest, and you can see that that's, even though I made this larger than the frame size, that's cutting off a bit, but if I just go ahead and take the vortex center point and scale that up a little bit, so I can just go ahead and scale that up until everything fills the frame. Now if we step forward here, we'll see that there's the blue glow around J, and the lightning starting up. Let's come back to the lightning in a minute. So I'm going to turn off the lightning plane on track 6, and I'm going to step forward to where I see the white glow layer start to come in. And that's going to be here at about frame 50. So I'm going to turn off the blue glow, and with the white glow I'm going to turn the opacity down to 50% or so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I think I'm also going to go ahead and turn off all my streaks. So there we go. Now I can kind of see my white glow around J. So I'm going to go ahead and start masking, and I'm going to do a little bit of a mask around this eye, and I want to invert that mask because I want that to punch a hole. And then I'll round that out by about 20 pixels, and I'll go ahead and feather that by about 5 pixels, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go ahead and create my next mask. And for my next mask, I'll do another one around Jay's other eye. And this second mask is going to be set to subtract, and I'm going to open up its properties, and I'm going to go ahead and round that out by about 20 pixels. I'm going to set the pixel strength to about 5. I'm going to go ahead and create a third mask, and I'm going to go ahead and do that around the Hitfilm logo on Jay's shirt. And now I'm going to animate this mask. Now it's up to you how much time you want to take to roto the white mask and make it look really good. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a lazy thing, and I'm just going to go up and select the expansion properties for all 3 of these masks, and I'm just going to go ahead and enable keyframing for all 3 expansion properties. And what I want this to do is the white glow on a leap out grows in, so I'm just going to kind of extend the expansion on these 3 masks. So maybe I'll do those 2 about here, and then the one about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and expand that out until I can't see any of the white at all.
And then I'm going to go forward about frame 95, or if you're looking in seconds in a time, I want this to be just at about 4 seconds in. And I'm going to go 4 seconds in, and now I'm going to change the expansion all the way in. Take the opacity back to 100%, and that completes that mask. Turn my lightning plane back on. I'm going to turn the white glow off while I adjust the lightning. So let's take a look at the lightning plane for a moment. You see I have two lightning effects set up, Lightning 01A and Lightning 01B. Both of them end at the Lightning 01 endpoint, and the start points are parented to the endpoint. So the endpoint is kind of my master control for all this. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag that up, and I think I'll have the lightning move down J. So I'm just going to kind of come to this first frame, lightning endpoint, turn on keyframing for the position, and then I'll move forward to pretty much the end of that lightning layer, and I'm just going to go ahead and keyframe this to move all the way off the bottom. And then I'm going to take my lightning start 1A point, and I'm just going to kind of drag that to somewhere on J's body. I'm going to turn on keyframing for its position, and I'm just going to step forward every couple of frames, and every few frames or so I'm just going to adjust that so that it hugs J's outline where I want it to be. And now that that's done, I'm just going to move back up to the top of that frame, and I'm going to go over to Lightning Layer B, enable keyframing for its position, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and that's really it. If I wanted to add more lightning, I would probably go ahead and duplicate these two effects and then rename them Lightning 2. Because these effects are tweaked so that there is no glow on them, and then the glow is being added after all the lightning effects so that the glows don't interact. You can always adjust the lightning however you want. Maybe I don't like the seed, maybe, I don't like how that's coming up. Maybe I want to have 2 trunks, right? Maybe I want there to be more lightning, so 8 or 9 trunks on that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make that a really heavy lightning. Boom. And that's it. We're done. Once I roto in that white mask and once I adjust the lightning points, all I need to do is go ahead and turn everything back on for this layer, and that's it. It's done. So, B, Leap In background. I leapt into J and J Studio, so I'll just bring in the Sensei Studio clean plate, turn off that text, go into Actor Leap In Roto key, I'll bring in the Mic Leap In plate. Oh, hey, look, I was on a green screen, so we'll just go ahead and drag a green screen key on that, and we'll just go ahead and move back into our B Vortex comp. And it's the same thing as the A Vortex comp, so all I need to do are the same things that I did before. I'm just going to have to manually roto in the white glow and adjust the lightning. So we'll start with the white glow. So on the leap in, we start white, we fade everything out. So I'm just going to go ahead and in my controls, I'm just going to expand. And I'm going to go ahead and activate keyframing. Drag those in until everything is covered. You know what? I want to add a 4th mask on this one. I'm going to add a little bit of a mask around some of my hair. Go ahead and turn that opacity back up to 100%. Then I'm going to go ahead and move forward a bit, and it's the same thing we did on the last comp. Same setup with the lightning plane with the one lightning and the lightning end. So all I need to do is grab that point, and we'll have this one go across. Go back to the beginning, grab my lightning 1A start, I'll position that. Go back to the beginning, do the same thing with lightning point 1B. And I think what I'll do with B is I'll just go ahead and drag that off the bottom of the screen, and I don't have to do anything with it, it's just going to go with me. And I've got that. Zoom. Zoom. Cool. And then once that's done, I just go ahead and turn back on every layer, grab the vortex center, and let's go ahead and have the vortex come back in around my eyes instead of the chest. Boom. And now let's go to the editor timeline. And on the editor timeline, you'll see AB4, Final Leap. I'll go ahead and double click on AB4 to open up that comp shot. So this comp shot has our sound effect. Underneath that is our leap out, our leap in, and then this top layer is just a white plane that just kind of in and out to be the full whiteout. And that's it. And I can adjust these, but it's just on the editor timeline so you can look at it. And that's it. It's a template. It's ready to go. It's just that simple. Just load it up, drop in your media, roto in your white plane, animate your lightning points, done. All right, let's take a look at how I actually made the elements if you want to create your own Quantum Leap from scratch. So in our Vortex Elements in our Media and Elements folders, you'll see here in the Vortex Element subfolder where it says Vortex Pre-Animate 96 frames per second. And we'll just open up Pre-Animate Center Streaks in 96 frames per second. And take a look at this. And this is super simple. Quick 3D Rain. And then I'll turn off the effects. So this is just a standard rain effect, a Crush Blacks and Whites Alpha, and then a Polar Warp to center that all out. And then this particular comp is 40 seconds long and 96 frames per second, but it's 96 frames per second because the rain effect goes much faster than I wanted it to. I wanted to slow that down a bit more. If we just look at center streaks in, right, the pre-animate, and then I put the speed effect on it, speed at 0.25, so that it goes more slowly. And then you'll also see this additional white glow. And what that is here is this bottom plane, says Reveal Matte. And if we look at the Reveal Matte, so it's just this kind of starry mask that I built, and it's just animating the expansion properties like we did in the other comps. So that's just animating the expansion properties, so I kind of get this in as a little bit of a shape. And that is then this matte flatten, right, baking in the effect, the old grade layer trick, so that once I turn on the pre-animate, I can do a set matte and have the set matte wipe those off. This center glow was just, it's a copy of the Reveal Matte with like a zoom blur on it and some heat distortion, and then the set matte reverting to that copy, and that's just kind of there to make a kind of a little white blobby shape. Pre-animate center streaks out is the same thing, it's just another rain effect. So yeah, I did use this 360 degree video transform, Z rotation 180 degrees so that my rain falls up instead of down, so that when I put my polar warp on it, the streaks come out instead of in. So this is my center streaks out 01, and it's the same thing as before. It's a reveal matte and a matte flatten. The reveal matte, it's just a plane with a jagged little mask on it, animate the expansion parameters. So put a set matte on it so that it reveals. Boom. So now we'll look at our center streaks in. What's this reveal matte and this reveal matte flatten? This is the same thing we were doing in the other two. It's the same thing. It's just another little jaggedy mask. Animate the expansion properties so that we get that here. Flatten it down. Here's a good trick. This thing that says displacement map plane. This is a fractal noise, but the real thing about it is in the transform, I've unlinked the scale, and I've changed the scale on this to something like 10,000 or 100,000. And this is going to, so that generates these vertical black, white, and gray streaks. And then that's under a grade so that it is also flattened. So now we'll take a look at the radial vortex lines. And the radial vortex line started out with a grid effect. So I've dragged the grid points so that I have a series of vertical lines and no horizontal. And then I've put a displacement effect on it that used that displacement plane so that it just broke up the uniformity, so that I've got a little bit of randomness, so that the grid wasn't quite so uniform. So I'm using a black and white fractal noise set to multiply, and that's just chopping out certain areas of the lines. And you can animate the fractal noise if you want. And then polar warp again. And that gives me my center streaks. And then I've got a center glow, which is just another plane using the same glowy mask. And then there's a demult on top of this entire thing to knock out the black, so that I just have the white streaks. And center streaks out to... Right, so I've got another displacement map. It's another fractal. Pretty much the same thing going on here. And then with the radial lines, it's the grid and then the displacement to break up the uniformity. And then the fractal noise. You can see how this is a different fractal noise, a lot smaller and a lot... and then the polar warp again. And that gives me... So that covers the center streaks. The horizontal circles... Variations of the same thing. You see at the bottom, the reveal map, the matte flatten, the displacement matte flatten. The same technique. Create that fractal noise, break up the uniformity. The horizontal circles plane is, again, it's the same thing. It's the grid. You can see now how the grid is animated. So I've moved the points a little bit so that the grid's getting a little bit wider as this one goes on. But it's the displacement to break up the uniformity again, the fractal noise to chunk parts out, and then the polar warp, and that gives us this. Same thing with horizontal circles too. In this case, the grid has been animated to get wider. Horizontal circles out. So all of the horizontal circles are made using the same thing. It's just grid, displacement, fractal noise, polar warp. Pretty much this entire thing has been built with grid, displacement, fractal noise, and polar warp. Then in the actual vortex comps, each one of the element layers, the center streaks, the horizontal circles, they just all got a couple of glows on them, and this was just a question of, taking the glow. The same two glows are copied across every layer. The horizontal circles, all the horizontal circles, both the center streaks, the lightning plane, and the white glow actor roto layer. I just designed the glow once, made it look good, and literally copied those same two glows to all of these elements. And then all of the circle layers and the center streaks layers, they're all in add blend mode. And once you just layer it up together, you get this.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller for the Hitfilm University channel. Wait, that's not right.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Jay Haynes from the Film Sensei YouTube channel, and today we're going to discuss how to make this quantum leap effect in Hitfilm Express.
This is that 20-second part at the end of every video where I say like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell. You're jealous of my t-shirt. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Has it been 20 seconds yet? I don't know. I don't wear a wristwatch. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell, like, subscribe, ring the bell.